topic for today is Zabbix Java Gateway, and basically most of the stuff of how you can monitor Java applications and softwares with a Zabbix. So we're going to talk about installation, some tips, and also setting up monitoring of the Tomcat and a WildFly. Each webinar that we have, and we have a lot of them this year, every 2 weeks, basically. Some of them are based like more on theory, some are more practical, and this one I would say is like more practical. I was testing everything out yesterday, and we're gonna do a lot of this stuff actually in the CLI. I have where is it? I have my terminal here ready. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Move it like this. Yeah, this should be fine. And I also have Zabbix 8.0 beta 1, the latest that we have today. So even if you will come and watch this webinar after some time, this is still gonna make absolute sense because 8.0 is going to be LTS version. As far as we talk about like the webinar and the typical rules, everything is as usual. All of your microphones are muted. There's no way how you can unmute them. You can ask questions at any time, but if you do ask questions, please make sure to do that in a Q&A section and not in the chat. But you're still free to use a chat for discussion, networking, or anything else that you just want to mention. Question-wise, I'm going to answer them at the end of the webinar, not in the middle of the topic. So yeah, feel free to ask questions and we're going to go through them at the end of presentation. So first of all, introduction to Zabbix Java Gateway. What it is, why do we need it? Zabbix has multiple components. There's Zabbix Server, there's Zabbix Frontend, there's Zabbix Agent, Zabbix Agent 2, Zabbix Proxy, and each of them has like their own purpose, what they do, and that's also the reason why there is another component called Zabbix Java Gateway. And from all of the components that Zabbix has, it is the only component which is written in Java language, not a C, as Zabbix says such. And Zabbix Agent 2 as examples written in the Go language. So Java is fully Java Gateway is written fully in a Java. And what it does enables Zabbix to collect metrics directly from Java applications. That's basically the main purpose of this tool, to monitor all sort of Java things. And it must be connected to Zabbix server or Zabbix proxy. It's not really like an agent, so it's a separate component that you install. And Java Gateway is responsible to collect the data from the applications, as example Tomcat, and then pass this data to the Zabbix server or Zabbix proxy, right? And deployment considerations are also quite specific for Java Gateway, particular because it is possible to have just one Java Gateway per Zabbix server or Zabbix proxy. If we talk about agents, like you can have hundreds of them, and hundreds of them pointed to a single Zabbix server or a single Zabbix proxy, and there's no issues with that. But if we talk about the Java Gateway, if you have Zabbix server, you can point your Zabbix Java Gateway to that Zabbix server. If you need additional Zabbix Java Gateway, you will need to install proxies. If you need 3 Java gateways, you will need to have 2 proxies and 1 Zabbix server. Communication between Zabbix components and Java Gateway cannot be encrypted. That's still last component of the Zabbix, which does not support encryption at all, but communication from Java Gateway to the monitor Java application. So as example, between Tomcat and a Java Gateway can be encrypted, and or you can also use authentication like some username and password to do the monitoring, but everything else, like the communication between the Java Gateway and the Zabbix proxy or the Zabbix server, cannot be encrypted. So it's basically going to be a plain text passing through the network from Java Gateway to Zabbix server or the proxy. The version alignment is also critical, very similar to Zabbix proxy. Zabbix Java Gateway must match the Zabbix server proxy major version. That's a big note missing here. Like if the minor versions differ, that's fine. As example, you could have Zabbix Java Gateway 8.0.1 and Zabbix Server 8.0.5. That's going to work perfectly fine. But if you have like Zabbix Java Gateway 7.4 and Zabbix Server of 8.0, that is not going to work. So the major versions, the first two digits, must be same. And also don't forget to explicitly define allowed IP addresses in Zabbix Java Gateway configuration. So that's for security considerations, making sure that only your designated Zabbix server or a proxy is able to communicate with your Java Gateway, just like it is with the agents as example when we have the server parameter and server active. Installation and best practices. So Java runtime environment called GRE is automatically installed alongside Zabbix Java Gateway. It is Java based, and basically whenever you install Zabbix Java Gateway from official Zabbix repository, there's like a bunch of different dependencies from the Java that are coming along of the Java Gateway service. No dedicated template provided by the Zabbix for Zabbix Java Gateway, so you can still monitor it. And of course, like if you have a monitoring software, right, it's still always a good idea to monitor your monitoring software. And there's no dedicated template for the Zabbix Java Gateway monitoring, but there's like generic one which is applicable for most Java applications, and it works perfectly fine with Java Gateway as well because it is also Java application. Custom libraries, jar files might be needed for specific Java servers, typically located in applications bin directory. That's also one of the practical things that we're going to do today. I think it was with a WildFly monitoring, so by default, it's not going to work. We will need to actually install the custom library for the monitoring to start working. Proper configuration of Java pollers is very crucial. Like if you are familiar with like Zabbix server or maybe Zabbix proxy configuration file, there's a lot of parameters like pollers, trappers, history syncers, and some caches and so on and so on. With the Java Gateway, it's actually very simple. There's basically just one core parameter that we need to take care of. It's called Java pollers, but here it's also important to understand that basically we need to have a very close, at least very close amount of the Java pollers on the Zabbix server comparing to the Java pollers on the Zabbix Java Gateway. So the same processes that are collecting the data from Java applications with the same processes from the Zabbix server that are connecting to the Java Gateway and polling for the data. And that's also important thing to mention that Zabbix Java Gateway works in a passive mode only. So the Zabbix server or the proxy connects to the gateway and polls for the data. Recommended practice, deploy Zabbix Java Gateway alongside Zabbix Server or proxy on the same machine for enhanced security. So since we don't have encryption, if everything is deployed on the same machine, like I have a proxy here and gateway, so communication between the gateway and proxy is purely internal. We don't need to worry about anything so much. And outgoing connection to the server as example from the proxy, no problem. We can encrypt that and make sure that there's like no plain text data traveling over the network. So we're going to start the actual work. And the first thing is installation and self-monitoring. So as I said, like I do have a terminal here. Let me get it back on the screen. The only thing I will need to do is some copy pasting and hiding here so that you can see everything that I am doing. And I have here, let's see, Red Hat release, AlmaLinux 9.7. I didn't use AlmaLinux 10, but it would work just fine. And actually, AlmaLinux 9 has a slight issue with a Zabbix because out of the box, AlmaLinux 9 has PHP of version 8.0 tops, but Zabbix 8.0 requires to have PHP at least of the version 8.2. You can still switch the PHP version with just like 3 or 4 commands and get it up and running. But if you would use AlmaLinux 10, that would be completely native. So, all right, now let me find where is my presentation so that I can copy paste stuff. First thing first that we need to do is add a repository of the Zabbix. That's like, I actually already have it because I've just, oh no, this is a wrong URL. Interesting. Repo release Alma 9. Strange, but we can grab it like from the other place as well. It basically comes from the zabbix.com download section, Zabbix packages. We're looking for the version 8.0, AlmaLinux 9, server frontend. We don't care because we need just this line, just the repository of the Zabbix, because in that repository, all of the components are sitting, including the Zabbix Java Gateway. And as I said, like it's already installed on my machine because I, before the webinar, installed Zabbix server and Zabbix frontend so that we have a deployment ready for everything else. Then we can clean the cache with DNF clean all, but that's mostly optional. And time to install Zabbix Java Gateway, and that's done very easily. DNF install Zabbix Java Gateway. We can add -y to everything to confirm everything automatically. This is quite a fast process. So next thing, what happens is the configuration file. For Zabbix, like you probably already know that all of the configuration files are located in etc Zabbix. And if we check here, we have Zabbix web directory for the Zabbix frontend. We have agentd.conf. We have zabbixserver.conf and serverd and agentd. For the Java, there's 2 configuration files. One is the main configuration where we have everything for the communication between the gateway and Zabbix server as example, and we can also start Java pollers there. And the second one is for the logging configuration, which is unusual for the Zabbix, that there's special, let's see, Zabbix Java Gateway logback.xml, special configuration file where you can define the pattern and a debug level of the log file. So root level info is the default one. You can switch this to debug and have extended log for your Java gateway. And the second one is .conf, which is like more of usual format of the Zabbix configuration file. So you have a listen port, the PID file, start pollers, timeout, and some Java opts, and basically that's it. So it's quite a small configuration file. Then for the Zabbix server, I already showed you, and if we would have a Zabbix proxy, then we would have the Zabbix proxy configuration as well. How to enable Zabbix Java Gateway in a Zabbix. So after installation, enable Java monitoring in your server or proxy by editing these parameters, Java Gateway and Java Gateway port. So I don't have a proxy here, but I do have a Zabbix server. So what we need to edit is etc Zabbix server.conf, and here find parameters called Java Gateway. And by default, it is commented out, and the default value is nothing because by default there is no Zabbix Java Gateway. And here we just need to provide the IP address of the one, and the second one is Zabbix Java Gateway port, which default value is already 10052, and that's perfectly fine. That's not yet on the slide. It's going to be on the next one. I will do it right away just to save us some time. So basically the third parameter, the mandatory one, is start Java pollers, which by default is 0. And this is like one of the most frequent mistakes that people make whenever they're just starting out with a Java gateway. They install everything, like specify Java Gateway here, create a host in a Zabbix front, and add a template, and then nothing happens. It's just availability is gray. It's not becoming green. It's not becoming red. There are no error messages. Most cases because they did not start the Java pollers. Those are zero. So basically, there's no internal process started that could check our Java Gateway. Therefore, there's no errors and no success. So we put this to 5. I will show you why 5 specifically in a minute. So we made the changes, and every time when we make a changes for any Zabbix configuration file, we need to restart the system. So systemctl restart Zabbix server. That's done. What else? Java Gateway port, by the way, is not registered in IANA. May trigger IDS EPS alerts if you have some systems like that. Enable Java Gateway in Zabbix. Start Java pollers. That's what I just did. Default is disabled. Recommended starting value is 5. If changed, align this number also in Java Gateway configuration. So the main idea why I said we need 5 is because if we check Java Gateway config file, here is start pollers. So these would be the processes that Java Gateway will spawn, and these processes will monitor Java application directly. And by default, we have 5. And the rule of thumb is that on a Zabbix server, we should have as much processes we have on a Java Gateway. So if we have 5 on a Java Gateway, that's why I added 5 in a Zabbix server as well. When using multiple Zabbix servers proxies with one gateway, sum their poller counts, like 3, I don't know, 3 gateways. Server 1 has 5 pollers, server 2 has 10, set Java Gateway pollers to 15. That's what we did right now. Important Java Gateway parameters. After configuration, restart your Zabbix components. We already did, but wait, Java Gateway itself also needs monitoring and critical configuration parameters. Special monitoring section, self-monitoring, is already present in our default configuration file of the Java Gateway, but it is commented out. And you will have access to this presentation after the webinar, like we share it online inetmax.com. So you can copy paste from the presentations, but you can also go to the configuration file and just uncomment these 3 lines. Java opt, just be very careful because let me save this. As you can see, I just removed the comments, didn't add anything else, right quit. Why I am saying be careful, because important to ensure each Java ops minus decom starts immediately after space with no extra spaces inside. This is also one of the most common mistakes that people make with a Zabbix Java Gateway. If you can see, it's basically like a long line of quite a nonsense if you're not so much into the Java. And if you add some extra space in any place in the string, it's not going to work. So be careful to just uncomment and not delete some extra character, as example, or not add some extra space. And what these parameters are doing are basically will allow our Zabbix server to monitor our Java application. So here we have Java options, GMX remote. The remote port is 12345. Authentication false, so no authentication, no SSL, and GMX remote registry SSL also false. So plain text for the monitoring. Verifying and monitoring the setup. After uncommenting and configuring monitoring lines, restart Zabbix Java Gateway. I don't remember if I did not do that. So systemctl restart Zabbix Java Gateway. As I said previously, every time you edit a configuration file of any Zabbix component, you need to restart it. Zabbix server, I think, we already did restart. And then it's a matter of a little bit clicking in the Zabbix frontend. We need to create a host for Zabbix Java Gateway itself. This is a clean installation. By the way, pay attention to new magic of the Zabbix. well, you can move columns right now, and you can also hide some columns if you don't need them. Cool thing. People waited for this many years. So what we're doing is creating a new host. I'm going to call it Java Gateway, and I'll put it to Linux servers host group. And don't forget to add a JMX interface. JMX is going to be Java. IP address 127.0.0.1 connects to port 12345. Remember, in our Java ops, we have remote port 12345. So this is perfectly fine. And we need to add a template, a generic Java JMX. So just start typing Java. And here it is, generic Java JMX. Everything should be fine. So click add. And right now availability is gray. So let's wait a second. Let me take a little bit of breath from the talking. And if we refresh the screen now, still gray. So still need to wait a bit. But shortly, in a second or two, it should become green. We have items, we have interface. Hopefully we didn't forget anything. Still not there. Actually, I would already expect it, so let me just force check everything. I did forget to do something, 100%. I think I didn't restart Zabbix server. That might be the thing. Systemctl, restart Zabbix server. And let's check now. Yeah, see, now it's green. So yeah, don't forget to restart your Zabbix components, especially if you're doing some changes in multiple components at once. It's very easy to miss something. Okay, so we are monitoring our Java Gateway, and we can go to the monitoring latest data. Choose our Java Gateway host, click apply, and there we go. We have, let me make this bigger. We can move this one as well. Garbage collector, compilation, class loading, memory, non-heap, all of the different relevant data for our Zabbix Java Gateway. So that's that. Looks good. Yes, looks good. Why is this important? Zabbix by default monitors only Java Poller availability. So like, is the Poller available? How busy it is? Additional self-monitoring via JMX ensures your Java gateway is operational and detects common issues early, especially Java heap memory problems that would also produce the error lines in your log of out of memory error about the Java heap space. So the best practice like applies no matter what components you have, may it be proxy, where server, where Zabbix Java Gateway, you still need to make sure that you monitor it, right? And yeah, Java keys and endpoints. Um, Whenever we're using a Zabbix Java Gateway for monitoring, we will need to either use some generic templates, which in some cases are completely enough, but in some cases we need to build some new templates, add some new custom item keys to monitor some specific data. And for that, Zabbix provides the specialized keys for JMX monitoring. We have just JMX, which is the standard JMX query to obtain the specific value out of your software. We have a JMX.get, which is a recommended method for low-level discovery. And we have a JMX discovery, which is the legacy method, no longer recommended, still available. I'm actually not even sure. It's highly likely that I will say most existing templates for the Zabbix Java Gateway that are using low-level discovery, they might still be on the old legacy way of JMX discovery. But whenever building new templates, you should use JMX get as example. An example of a standard JMX key, and this is like very frustrating for someone who doesn't work much with a Java because if we're working with let's say Zabbix agents where we just have a proxies and we're monitoring operating systems like Windows, Linux, whatever, we're probably used to have some item keys like system.cpu.load or net.if.in, which would translate to network interface incoming. And most of those agent keys are pretty much just English language, right? And even if you have no idea what it is, you can still kind of understand what type of metric we're going to be gathering. Not exactly the case with a Java Gateway.